You're back with Ken Oath, the voice of reason.
Do you know what time it is? Shall I tell you? It's time we stop being afraid of everything. Air pollution. It kills 20 people a year, some mug said the other day. Where? I haven't seen one. Saw a joker choke on an apple once. Or was it a nashi pear? Doesn't matter. He's dead. But the air didn't do it. It was fruit. Others say we have too much salt or sugar or butter. Worried about everything. Global warming, ozone layers. I tell you what, you've got more chance of being killed by a terrorist, an immigrant or a gang member than dying of skin cancer. That's a fact. What sort of snowflake generation have we given birth to? Kiddies won't eat meat for God's sake. Turn their noses up at black pudding or liver, little shih tzus. Or get this, they screw their faces up at white bread. And of course they all cry like infants when you mention nuclear power. A brilliant invention, big in the States, big in France. But oh no, we can't have that. Radiation, fallout, blah blah, wine. Newsflash. Solar will not power the electric cars we'll all be driving in 10 years' time. It's time to get real. The sad, tired anti-nuclear hippy-dippies have had their days. Time to wake up, sheeple. Nuclear makes all sorts of sense. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, now listen, I had a mate who, he lived on Mururoa Atoll during all that nuclear testing carry-on. Top bloke, you know what? He never missed a day of work in his life.
And alive and kicking, no doubt.
Well, he died a few years back, but he was fit as a fiddle right up until the day he shot a pahutakawa tree.
Well, I have to say, that's an unorthodox thing to do to a tree.
Oh, yeah, bloody nuisance things, clogging up the drains and breaking up the footpaths. Anyway, he had a guts full and shot the blimmin' thing, half a dozen rounds from his 303, and one of the branches from up high fell on his noggin, split his head like a pumpkin. Oh, it was a frightful scene. The neighbour's Burmese ran off with his frontal lobe, you know, the amygdala. Yeah, the wife was in a hell of a state, screaming and carrying on. Unfortunately, the cat got a taste for human flesh, and they had to put the poor thing down.
Yes, so you're saying that your mate, he didn't suffer from the radiation of the nuclear blasts. He was killed by a native tree, a tree that we're forced to live with despite its weed-like qualities. Try and tell a greenie it was a native tree and not a nuclear bomb that killed the bloke. That would really blow their tiny little minds.
Well, he was, and I think of it, he was always on the chemo and all sorts of tablets. I mean, he looked terrible, but he reckoned it was more to do with those chemical trails that the planes leave behind. And, you know, when they brought in margarine, he was very against margarine. I mean, he was tickety-boo until he started on the march, he reckoned. I mean, that stuff's got the same DNA as bloody plastic. I never put that muck in my body. Butter, lots of butter. That's the recipe for a long life.
Are you okay, Alistair?
Oh, yeah, just a bit short of breath, actually. Surprising, really. I quit smoking nearly 10 years ago now, only been on the menthol since then. Just a pack a day now, and I'm practically vegetarian too. I mean, some days I just have fish and chips or kebabs. So, yeah, I've been looking after myself.
Are you okay, Alistair?
One moment, please.
Welcome to the Opportunities Party. For an inspiring message from our leader, Gareth Morgan, that's me, press 1. For a complete guide to policy, including how I'm going to repair the economy and make the Maoris happy, press 2. To leave a moronic message about cats. I mean, really, am I always going to be remembered for the bloody cats? I don't even like cats. Anyway, knock yourself out and press 3. If you're an average moronic stupid bloody voter, you know who you are. As Winston Churchill said, voters are basically whores and imbeciles. So if that's you, you can press 9 for all I care. Press 140 if you're a Twitter nuisance who can't take a bit of wibbing. I mean, suck it up, baby. And don't go crying to Guy and his spinner. Remember your self-cocking respect. I mean, hashtag go stuff yourself. If you're Winston Peters, then why don't you try pressing all the buttons at once if you can work up the strength, you old coot. I know more about Maoris than you've had hot blooming dinners. I've no idea what they can't see right through you. I mean, for Christ's sake, why is everyone always picking on me? I mean, if you know the answer to that question, please press 7.